Welcome new teachers to Franklin Public Schools. My name is Chris Reuter. I am the K-8 Director of Teaching and Learning, as well as I serve as the district's Educator Effectiveness Coordinator. In this screencast today, it's my goal that you have a better understanding as a new teacher to Franklin Public Schools of the Educator Effectiveness System and how it applies to you as an educator in our district, as well as the supports that are in place to make sure you are very successful in your first year. Resources for this presentation can be referenced and retrieved from the Department of Public Instruction's Educator Effectiveness website. Today's learning targets or outcomes are as follows. By the end of the screencast, you will be able to explain the Educator Effectiveness System and the implications it has on you as a teacher in Franklin Public Schools. You'll be able to explain what the following components of the Educator Effectiveness System are. And you'll be able to explain how student learning outcomes, professional practice goals, and Teachscape observations will drive your quality instruction in your classrooms. The guiding principles of the Wisconsin Educator Effectiveness System are as follows. The EE system guides effective educational practice. It documents evidence of educator practice. It documents evidence of student learning. And informs professional development across the district from each building to each building. Educator effectiveness came into play in the 2014-15 year with full implementation. However, it refers back to 2011 when Wisconsin Act 166 came into place. As a new teacher to Franklin, all of you will be a summary year teacher. I will go into more depth as to what the expectations are of a summary year teacher as the screencast continues. However, a summary cycle for non-first year teachers consists of 3 years of progress towards the ultimate year of summary, where a final rating is made of a teacher. Any new teacher to any district in the state automatically is a summary year teacher, regardless of their past experiences. This graphic outlines after your completion of your summary year, you will go then into one effectiveness cycle, which is a 3-year cycle, and in your 4th year of teaching in Franklin, again, you will be part of a summary year cycle. The Educator Effectiveness System is based on 2 measures. 50% based on evidence of educator practice through observations that will take place by your building principal, and 50% is based on student outcomes, which will be based on your SLO that you develop at the building level. The educator practice side consists of scores for each of the components in the appropriate framework. Franklin Public Schools utilizes the Danielson framework for teaching. In all 22 components, evidence is gathered by not only your principal, but you as the practitioner in order to show your competencies of those components. Evaluators of teachers conduct one announced observation with a pre-observation conference and post-observation conference, plus 3 to 5 unannounced mini-observations, these lasting between 15 to 20 minutes, with at least 2 unannounced mini-observations during the summary final year of the effectiveness cycle. What this means for you as a new teacher to Franklin, you this year will be observed by your principal, as stated, a minimum of 45 minutes as an announced observation with the pre- and post-observation conference, plus 3 unannounced mini-observations. Over the course of your second summary cycle after your first year, this will be the process moving forward as well. We utilize the platform Teachscape, which aligns the Charlotte Danielson framework for teaching to a digital format for you and your principal to gather evidence. The rubric is comprised of 4 domains. Domain 1, planning and preparation. Domain 2, the classroom environment. Domain 3, instruction. And Domain 4, professional responsibilities. Here's a snapshot of the Danielson framework for your reference. However, at your pre-session meetings and your beginning of the year meetings with your principal, they will go much more in depth around setting goals and what this looks like. The Danielson framework supports your SLO, your student learning outcome, and focuses on teachers' change of instructional practice over time. This is a growth model. This is not a punitive model. We believe in Franklin that we are here to meet teachers where they're at and help them grow to the next level of mastery. Student outcomes is the other percentage of the total pie for educator effectiveness. 50% of your evaluation is based on student learning objectives, which derive from the school learning objectives. Here's an example, a screenshot of a sample student learning objective plan. In collaboration with your building principal, your system specialist, and the data team from your building, you will determine one student learning outcome for the upcoming school year. More guidance on this will take place during pre-session. So you have completed the SLO portion and you're getting ready to plan for the year. The next stage is creating an Educator Effectiveness Plan, or an EEP. Every teacher will create an EEP within Teachscape to lay out their year-long plan. The EEP includes your SLO goal, which will be done in collaboration with your colleagues and building principal, which includes a rationale for the goal, how you're measuring it, who does the goal pertain to, and a timetable for completing that goal. Your PPG, which is your professional practice goal, will support your SLO and will tie back to the Danielson framework. At the conclusion of completing this plan before the end of September, your building principal will sign off on your EEP and you're ready to begin. At the conclusion of the school year, you will conclude as a summary year teacher your effectiveness summary year cycle. During that time, you will self-score as well as your principal will score your SLO. You'll look at data that you've collected over time and measure student growth. Your principal will also have all the evidence they've collected from observations as well as evidence you have collected based on artifacts and other work you've done throughout the year. Your principal then will look at all related evidence and give you a final score within each of the 22 components of the Danielson framework. This will be an ongoing dialogue with your principal through your summary year, so at the end of the year it is not weighted upon that this is the first time you're seeing your evidence. After observations, you'll have the ability to look in Teachscape and see where you have grown and where you need to continue to grow based on observational feedback. At your final meeting at the end of the year, your principal will share your final scores and you'll have a conference about planning for your next effectiveness cycle and a focus for areas of growth. As a first-year teacher in Franklin, you are considered a summary year teacher. As I stated multiple times, during pre-session, your building principal will share their staff the plan for supervision and observation for the school year, and you'll have a better understanding of how this works. Your building data team during pre-session will report out the focus of the SLO for the school year, and then you can start to plan with your colleagues your individual SLO. As a new teacher in Franklin, not only through educator effectiveness, but all of our programming, there are many supports in place that are going to help you to be successful in your first year. We're excited that you chose to work in Franklin Public Schools, and we're going to help you be successful throughout your career here. Please know that if you have further questions, you can contact me at any time about educator effectiveness or any curriculum issue matters, as well as your building principal will be the lightning rod to help support you in your first year. Welcome and have a fantastic school year.